All right, hello everybody. I'm recording this short video just to do a quick rundown, an overview, if you will, of your analysis paper assignment that is coming up for the end of week 2. And what I'd like to do is just go through some of the resources that you have available to help you do this assignment and all the other analysis paper assignments that you have throughout the semester as well. So I'm going to do a screen share here of showing you a little bit what's going on. At the moment, I've got the Blackboard course page open up to our to a History 102. I'm recording this video specifically for Western Civ 2 people. And at the very top of the weekly modules section, so over here on the left-hand side, you click weekly modules. At the very top, I've placed an analysis paper resources folder that you will have here from now until the end of the semester. So you can always quickly refer to it as needed. If we click on that, you'll see a bunch of different files here that you can click on and explore. I'm going to go through what these are. But these are always going to be here. They're never going to move. They're always going to be stationary. The very first is the analysis paper template, which if we open that up, gives us basically the format for how we want the paper to look. We are looking for top left-hand corner of name, the class, Professor Schoner, the instructor, and then paper number 1 or whatever paper it is. In this case, it's paper number 1 for what you're doing for the end of week 2. You've got some format guidelines, 12-point font. I'd like it either Times New Roman or Calibri, which is the default for Microsoft Word. Double space, default margins, just don't mess with the margins, but definitely double space it out. And then all the good stuff that you see up here. That every analysis paper we do throughout the semester should follow the same format. Okay, regardless of the topic that you're writing about. Here I talk about essay structure, and basically I'm just saying intro, body, and conclusion. That's what a good college level paper should have. And hopefully you have gone through this in English classes in high school or now at Lincoln Land. But if you haven't, here's just a little bit of a refresher on how to structure that paper. The length for these papers are 2 to 3 pages. Or 500 to 700 words, which is roughly the equivalent of 2 to 3 double-spaced pages. And that is including citations and including the stuff you put up here at the top of the page. So these are not long papers at all. Grading, I've got a rubric that I'll show you in a little bit. And then what I'm looking for is citations. Always do citations for when you cite your sources. That's one of the main purposes of this analysis paper assignment anyway, is to practice citing facts and evidence for backing up what you're claiming. Okay, so I have just an example down here. Someone is using in their paper perspectives from the past document called Young. His last name is Young, and he's talking about the French Revolution. So it says, Young observed that the poor condition of farmers way down in the country, writing that, quote, the farmer is in the lowest state of poverty. The land is miserably cultivated, blah, 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 blah. And then he ends his quote. And in parentheses, this is the citation. Okay. Last name of the author, or if there is no author name, which sometimes happens, just put the document title. It can be a shortened version of the document title if it's a really long title. So Young travels in France, 650, which is the page that you find this particular quote on in your perspectives from the past book. Okay, so that's the quick and dirty way of how you would cite a source that you're using as evidence. You're citing a document that we've read in this class as evidence for your essay. Okay, so that's the analysis paper template. That's the shortened parenthetical version of how to cite things. I'd like to take a look at one of the sample papers here to talk about what I mean. So up here, this is a real paper that someone used in the semester of fall 2020. It's an exceptional paper in my opinion. They've got, I replaced their name, but it's got the class that they're in. And by the way, this, because I'm recording this video for Western Civ 2, I'm using a paper from Western Civ 1 so that no one can just copy and paste a paper that's already been written and submit it as their own in this class. So this is a Western Civ 1 paper, but it's going to illustrate the exact same stuff. Professor Schoner, paper number 3 in this case. You don't have to include this week 7 analysis paper, but he did, and that's fine. Here he's got an introduction that's just 2 or 3. It's just 2 or 3 sentences, just a quick, like, here's what I'm talking about, and here's why it's important. The body then goes into answering the paper prompt, and I've included it. You can access the sample paper on Blackboard. So here he's addressing question number 1. I've included the prompt questions down at the very bottom, so it doesn't mess with the formatting. Here they're talking about Roman law and how Roman society believed it should govern itself. So he says, like all great civilizations, the Romans had a thorough understanding of law and how to implement it. Yada, yada. This sentiment is clearly echoed in the writings of Cicero, which was one of our documents we read. And here he quotes it. Law is the highest reason implanted in nature, yada, yada, yada. And then he uses his parenthetical citation. When he's done using that source, he's got the document and or the author. It could, you could, just as long as I know which document you're talking about, however you mark it is fine. And then page 180. He uses the same source, again, another quote. Furthermore, we are so constituted by nature to share the just blah, 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 blah. And here he's just using the page number because he's using the exact same source twice in a row. That is fine. He's shortening the citation to the page number because he's using the source in 2 consecutive sentences. That is a fine way of doing it. But he is letting me know where he is getting his information from. That is one of the key parts of these analysis papers, is show me where you're getting your quotes, where you're getting your info from. And by the way, it doesn't have to be a straight up quote from the document. Here he switches in the next paragraph. The Romans use this broad definition of law, yada, yada, and he starts citing the 12 tablets, which is another separate document. He says, firstly, we can observe the importance of legal traits. The law is summoned, you must appear at court willingly or forcefully. That is not a direct quote, but he still got his information from that document, and here he cites it. The 12 tables, page 170. He does this again. He uses the same document 2 more times, and he cites it here and here. So this is a very good sample of what I'm looking for. This is a good example of how to take one of the historical documents we read from our Perspectives book and use it to help answer the questions that you're given in these writing assignments. He does the same thing with another that I've highlighted in green. And then he caps it off with a concluding paragraph. Again, just a really short one, just a couple of sentences long. So this is a good paper that is 2 full pages, and he spills over into a third, but it's just, a sentence or 2. This is an excellent A+ paper, and you are free to look at it on Blackboard, along with another one that I've given you as well. I want to take just a really quick look at the rubric that is included up here on Blackboard. It's attached in the analysis paper resources folder. You can peruse this on your own time. Each paper is worth 50 points. And if you are in the superior column and you meet all the different criteria for these analysis papers, you will get 50 points. Points might get taken off here or there if the paper is not long enough, if you don't cite your sources, if you use bad English, bad grammar. But the bulk of the points are in the content, just showing that you read the documents and you understand them, and that you're using them in the paper as evidence. Okay. So if you have any questions about the rubric or anything like that, the analysis paper template, what to write about, it's all right there in this analysis paper resources folder at the top of your Blackboard screen. And your paper prompt is going to be listed in the bottom of the week 2 module. And that's where you click on to submit your paper, is where it says analysis paper. So if you have any questions, please let me know via email. You can shoot me an email anytime. Other than that, I hope this has been a helpful, instructive video for you. Good luck, happy writing, and I look forward to seeing what you say.